Since 1996, FC Bate Borisov have transformed from a club in Belarusian football's third tier into one of Eastern Europe's most prominent clubs. They've become regulars in the Champions League group stage and are currently on the longest current streak of consecutive league titles in European football, winning every season since 2006. This is how the club have embarked on their magical journey, guided by visionary club president Anatoly Kapsky, who passed away in September. In 1973, a tractor electrics factory in the city of Borisov decided to form a workers' football team. They named their side in recognition of their work, Borisov Automobile and Tractor Electronics, with BATE subsequently adopted as an acronym. Initially, they were very successful and won the Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic League 3 times in 1974, 76 and 79, as well as the 76 Soviet Belarus Cup. However, the club disbanded in 1984 when the factory was financially impacted by the economic problems of the Soviet Union. FC Berezina, FC Avtomobilist, FC Iskra and FC Fomalhaut represented Borisov in the following years, but none could generate a sufficient foothold to challenge at the top level of Belarusian football. And it wasn't until 1996 that the club was revived, led by successful businessman Anatoly Kapsky. One of the owners of the electrics factory, Kapsky, who was then aged just 30, became president of the club and launched a project to transform them into one of the leading clubs in post-independence Belarus. A passionate football fan, Kapsky was recognised as possessing the financial capability necessary for the further development of the club. They won back-to-back promotions, and by 1998 they were in the Belarusian top flight. Their first campaign at top level brought a highly creditable runners-up finish, and the following season they landed their first league title. Few expected their success to be maintained. After all, with a population of under 150,000, Borisov, which lies 74 kilometers northeast of the capital Minsk, is only the 9th biggest city in the nation. Traditionally, Dynamo Minsk, owned by the Belarusian oligarch Yuri Chush, had been the nation's most successful club, winning 6 of the first 7 league titles since independence, having previously become the first and only Belarusian side to compete in the Soviet top division, competing against leading clubs from Russia and Ukraine. Another significant Belarusian outfit, Dynamo Brest, are the only club in the division to average over 5,000 fans per match. However, a second title for BATE followed in 2002, and the club have only finished outside of the top 2 on 2 occasions, third in 2001 and fourth 4 years later. From 2006 onwards, the club's success has been remarkable. They've won 12 successive league titles in a row and counting. In 2008, BATE became the first Belarusian team to qualify for the Champions League group stages, and have replicated their achievements on a further 4 occasions. In their first season in Europe's premier club competition, they drew twice with Juventus, while were only narrowly defeated by Real Madrid. 2 seasons later, they were eliminated from the Europa League by Paris Saint-Germain on away goals only. In 2011, BATE held Milan before their finest hour the following season, humbling Bayern Munich, who would go on to win that year's competition 3-1 in Belarus. During these years, the team was coached by the former defender Viktor Goncharenko. Appointed aged just 30, Goncharenko had retired from playing 5 years earlier due to injuries, while he received widespread praise for his success with BATE. Goncharenko fit BATE's model of continuity and rejuvenation. President Anatoly Kapsky said of the club's success, "About half of the first team came through our youth academy. Every year, some homegrown players emerge, and we count on them. We will not go crazy. We have plans to develop the club's infrastructure. Certainly, we may go for some transfers that would be considered big for Belarus, but we will not bring stars here that would look down on our young team." BATE didn't focus on signing star players. Their iconic figure was former Arsenal and Barcelona midfielder Alexander Hleb, an icon in his native Belarus, who had 5 separate spells at the club. And Kapsky was an unusual presidential figure in Eastern European football, uninterested in interfering in first-team affairs and refusing to rock the club's steady progression despite reaching the bright lights of the Champions League group stage. Instead, he focused on developing the club's growth and financial footing. In 2014, the 13,000-seater Borisov Arena opened at a cost of €40 million. Previously, BATE had been forced to play all of their European fixtures at the Dynamo Arena in Minsk because their old stadium didn't meet UEFA standards. It allowed club football's most illustrious club competition to be played in the small Belarusian city for the first time. A famous victory soon followed as BATE defeated Athletic Club Bilbao 2-1 in the 2014-15 group stage. And it was all overseen by President Kapsky, a man who experienced health problems his entire life. He contracted pneumonia as a baby, and as a child he was hospitalised for 2 years after fragmenting a hip. He was diagnosed with cancer aged 20 and suffered a relapse in 1999. In 2013, Kapsky had to undergo a complicated heart operation, leaving him in a coma for 3 days. His cancer later returned, and on the 22nd of September 2018, he passed away, aged just 52. His remarkable ability to translate his success in business to the football pitch was admirable, particularly in the context of continual health problems. He created and led a club who've set a spectacular example of how a well-organised and hard-working team with a constrained budget can achieve unparalleled success on a national and international stage. Unlike other stories of domestic dominance, the club did not benefit from state support or institutionalised luxuries. Under Kapsky, Bate evolved from a team of tractor manufacturers into Champions League regulars.